What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, caught a video, a couple of videos. I don't know if it was one. It looked like it probably was one long video that was broken down into different parts. But Deontay Wilder had a lot to say about Tyson Fury, and he had a lot to say about Anthony Joshua. So let's start with Tyson Fury. So he was asked about his trilogy with Tyson Fury, and I think the guy made a comparison to like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, having their trilogy, Leonard Hearns type thing. And he said that he doesn't really look at it that way because Fury cheated. So he's still holding on to that. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Deontay Wilder truthfully believes in his heart that Tyson Fury cheated, I wouldn't shake his hand either. If he did those things that Wilder said, like if he believes that, no, why would you want to shake his hand? Okay. For Tyson Fury, if you are innocent of what he said and after he said all those things about you, why would you want to shake his hand? That's just me. Okay. So when you talk about showing good sportsmanship, well, good sportsmanship is not making false accusations. So the whole point is, in terms of Fury using dirty tactics in a fight, well, we all have two good eyes to see when a person is doing things and getting away with it. But nobody in their right mind is going to sit there and know, okay, because, it's Deontay Wilder's own words, but to know he had something in his gloves and know it at the time of the fight, that was stupid. Now, he basically said if he, people that says, why wouldn't you go to the authorities? If he did all those things and he's saying, oh, I could tell these people ain't never been no combat sport. They're not violent. And if I see them in their face, I grab by their collar and this ain't no, you won't do shit. You ain't do shit to Fury. You ain't gonna do shit to nobody fucking else. So who the fuck you gonna grab in the collar and do what? So pretty much he said it would be stupid when I can get in there, put my hands on him, and possibly even kill him for free. Right? Well, that didn't work out. He got his ass whooped 3 times. Got gifted a draw. What Wilder seems to not have common sense to understand is you and your team ran your mouths for over a year making excuses and complaints. You were the ones who said, we got information, we got evidence, and we're going to wait till after this third fight. We're going to whoop his ass. We're going to present this evidence. Remember that, right? And then we're going to get this dirty motherfucker about the sport. Remember that. They all said they had proof. Then they started talking all this stuff about, a sparring partner said Fury had an egg waiting in his glove and all that. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody in their right mind, I know I've never said I don't think Fury would do that. I don't know what Fury would or wouldn't do. I always said you put your foot in your mouth when you say I have proof. And what did Deontay Wilder end up saying afterwards? It's hard to when you ain't got no proof, but now you don't have proof. He was the one that was saying one thing and then saying something else. And the attempt to put hands on him, well, you should have trained harder. You should have, like when he said back to basics, yeah, you should have added everything to your arsenal that you never had, like you claimed you was going to do, because basically you got knocked out. He beat you even worse. The third fight was worse. It was worse. The only difference in the third fight was he was able to knock Fury down 2 times like he did in the first fight. But bottom line is, you got the worst end of that. So your attempt to get vengeance failed. Now, you say he cheated. You claim you had proof. Your brother said that, the doctor did the autopsy. You remember all that? And, the autopsy showed that, you had a dent in your head and all that stuff and whatever. And so people felt for you because they was like, I didn't know he died. I thought he just got beat up. I didn't know Fury killed him because of your brother saying he had an autopsy done. Now, regardless, with all that being said, when you say it don't make no sense, that would be stupid. Why would I go to the cops? Then why do you keep bringing it up? It's 2022. You keep bringing it up. You were asked a question, yes. But even in answering the question, look at the direction you went with your answer. And you always make sure you let everybody know Fury cheated, Fury cheated. See, remember after the fight when Fury went over to shake his hand and he told him, I don't respect you, right? But then, next day, a couple of days later, then he made a tweet or something talking about, like, kind of saluting Fury, congratulating him. And I said, see, this is what I'm saying. That's some contradicting shit. Because at the end of the day, if I don't like you, I don't care what these people think. They're not the ones who got cheated. You understand? So if you really stand by that. So I said then, probably Malik Scott or somebody got in his ear and said, look, man, the people are behind you because you went out on your sleeve, right? On your shield. And you basically went in there and they giving you respect, even though you lost. Don't ruin that. So he comes up with that little fake apology, or not even an apology, that little, salute, congratulations to Fury. You said the man cheated. I wouldn't care if he did win the last and fair and square. If I felt like I know he cheated, but why would I feel that way? What was it? Now wait. You didn't say he cheated in the third fight. You say he cheated in 1 and 2. But you didn't say he cheated in 1 until after the second fight. Here's the crazy part though. If he didn't cheat in the third fight, he still knocked you out. So are you like the fanboys that make excuses saying that Wilder's not the same due to Fury's dirty tactics? Are you telling us that you're not the same fighter? And I just said, damn, this man, I'm not shocked, but he's still salty about that situation. And you still didn't get your way. So if he did cheat, he beat your ass with and without cheating. And you still have yet to, do anything about it other than get knocked out. That's what you did in the third fight. Your third fight was supposed to be payback. You got knocked out. All right. Through that shot, Fury came over with that one shot. Bow! Clubbed him. Gone. Out of here. So what did you accomplish? I mean, but he doesn't rate that because he feel like Fury cheated. Then you shouldn't have congratulated him. I never would shake the hand or congratulate somebody who I feel did me dirty. But basically, you went with that, as far as I'm concerned, with your fans believe that you were cheated. Your fans believe it. They made up the story that you was cheated. Before you said it, they were saying it months before you spoke. At the end of the day, that's the story that you ran with, that you was cheated. So, yeah, you rather they believe that than to believe that you got your ass whooped fair and square. But certain people got tired of those excuses. And it's funny because some of those same people, even though they still ride with you, some of them are now saying, nah, Tyson Fury, he fucked Wilder up. Wilder got to learn how to fight. Ray Mercer telling you got to learn how to box. Michael Moore, you got to learn how to box. Now your fanboys will tell you, oh, they just hating. Hating on what? Hating on what? Those men had their career. They moved on. They're older in life now. That he's still an active fighter. What? Nobody can just be honest. It's funny because I saw an interview with Tony Bellew and Conor Benn, and so many people in the comment section was talking about, yo, he was so brutally honest with Conor. I guess y'all are so used to hearing people full of shit that when you hear somebody speak the truth, as I do, come right out and say things exactly how it is, it's like wow, it's refreshing. You're not used to that shit. It's not about punking people or just shit talking them. No, just be honest. You tell me you have proof, then you don't have proof. Simple. Do you have a passport, sir? Yes, I do. Okay, come on through. May I see your passport? Well, I don't have it. Either you do or you don't. So that proof, what? What was supposed to happen? Okay. Now, all of a sudden, Tyson Fury is about to fight Anthony Joshua. He says Anthony Joshua, he didn't earn his belts. They were given to him. They were bought. That's what he said. All right? That's what he said. Then he made a comment about, he still want to whoop that ass, but he want to know that they're serious. And he's, all these things he's saying. Let me just tell y'all something, man. For you to come into a sport 5 years before somebody else as a professional fighter, for you to hold a title at the age of 30, fighting guys ranked to the 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s, while you're champion, yet you have another guy who's up and coming, but he's fighting. Every opponent gets tougher than the next. He's going up in the rankings and never went backwards. Got the titles before he was fully polished. But that version of Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, knocks Deontay Wilder the fuck out. That Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, would have beat Tyson Fury. That's when when I'm watching, I'm like, I think I go with Joshua over all three of them. Okay? That Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, and a whole lot of other people's opinion. I started to feel kind of different when I started listening to Anthony Joshua talk. So right around the time of him losing to Ruiz, and just it's like he's in this nice guy mode of now. I don't even mean his personality. I mean it's just like all of a sudden he's not talking like the same. I remember him being interviewed, and this lady asked him about boxing and like what drives him. Like, isn't it scary to you? He's like, nah. He's like, just another day in the office, and he's like, why when you get hit though? He said, I like that. I get hit with a good proper shot, then I feel like, okay, now wait till you feel mine. That confident Anthony Joshua. And that's when I started to see like, yeah, okay. And everybody saw it. We noticed it, how he wouldn't let his hands go like he used to and things like that. Not throwing with the same speed and confidence, same authority, because he's not sure of himself. We all got that. And that's when I'm saying, nah, I'm not sure about this version of Anthony Joshua. I don't know, Now, all in all, like I told you guys before, Fury and Usyk are two different fighters. It's a different fight. Fury is not as elusive of a target as Usyk is. Now, Anthony Joshua, you cannot compare Deontay Wilder's resume to his. By no stretch of the mind can you. If his titles were given to him and they were fake titles, why didn't you collect those titles? Why didn't you go and fight Klitschko and Charles Martin? Why didn't you fight Joseph Parker? Why didn't you fight Dillian? You still haven't fought these guys. Still haven't fought Dillian White. All you managed to do was get your ass kicked 3 times by Tyson Fury. We know about your gifted draw in the first one. As I said, all you managed to do was get your ass kicked 3 times by Tyson Fury and beat an old man. You beat up Luis Ortiz. You knocked him out. You take that back. You didn't beat him up. You knocked him out. But that's all you managed to do. All those other guys. And it's funny because Wilder fans were saying, but you got to understand, he didn't have a long amateur career. Okay, so what? So what? The same way how he jumped in there and wanted to go pro without having a long amateur career. All right, then. So, same way Anthony Joshua was stepping up in competition and had the heart to do what Wilder didn't. And basically, look. I feel a lot of jealousy from Wilder towards AJ because the way Fury and all these other guys try to downplay him, they're still not as accomplished as he is. Neither one of them has yet to fight Usyk. I don't give a shit about fans talking about who Usyk can't beat and who Fury can't beat and who AJ and Wilder can't beat. I don't care about that. That's just opinions. These fights need to happen. Okay, let's look at this. Anthony Joshua just lost 2 straight to Usyk. Look who the fuck he's jumping back in there with right now. Even though he wanted to fight and keep sharp and try to sharpen up and, refine his skills. But look who he's jumping in there right now. Tyson Fury, the same dude that you just coming off 2 back-to-back losses with, where Wilder, AJ lost decisions. You got knocked out. On top of that, you're jumping in the ring with who? Robert fucking Helenius. Let me just be real, okay? I don't want to discredit Helenius because Helenius is a human being. He's a fighter, and it's an opportunity for him to try to beat a guy that at least has some respect in the heavyweight division. But at the end of the day, Robert fucking Helenius is not considered an elite fighter. Deontay Wilder is not an elite fighter to me. He has a right hand. The heavyweight division, let's just say it like it is not that great. Let's just say it like it is. And his opponents, he's the most... Listen, who the fuck was more protected than Deontay Wilder? Let's just be real. Who was more protected than him? Look at his resume. We know the Povetkin fight was supposed to happen. Then they had the issue we know. Never fought Povetkin. Never fought Dillian White. I'll freeze you out for 2 years. Okay? Never fought Parker. Never fought AJ. All right? You know, I mean, still, no Joe Joyce on his resume, no Daniel Dubois. There's fighters out there. No, out of all those guys, no. Look at who he's coming back against. I mean, I'm pretty sure Frank Sanchez would have took that fight. But you know, come back and you fight Robert Helenius. This is your fight, Robert Helenius. Is Helenius a better fighter than Kubrat Pulev? He's younger, but I mean, is he a better fighter than Kubrat Pulev? Just saying. What's special about Helenius? He beat Adam Kalnaki, but he also got knocked out by Gerald Washington, who you knocked out. Who definitely is not an elite fighter. Who the hell rates Gerald Washington? You know, just saying. Let's look at your resume. Because that's the only 2 names you have on it. Berman Stavern. Okay. AJ got his first title from Charles Martin. You got yours from Berman Stavern. You fought Dominic Brazil as a mandatory. It's not your fault. But AJ gave him his first loss. AJ had him when he was fresh before he was all beat up. Just saying. Just saying. It's jealousy. This is the same Wilder tactics. As soon as Anthony Joshua has a fight scheduled, that's when, just like in the past, Deontay, all of a sudden, he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and wants to make it look like it's his fault if the fight doesn't happen. He just wants to know if they're serious. Funny thing is, he talks with like more hatred towards, or the same type of hatred or more towards AJ as he does with Fury. And I'm like, not that I care, because I don't. It's just, what the fuck did AJ do to him that makes him so like so full of hate? Like I said, it's because AJ is by far more accomplished. Now, to say you want to fight him, maybe you're trying to get more attention because nobody gives a fuck about this Helenius fight. Also, he knows people are going to compare his performance to Anthony Joshua's. Maybe he want to try to get in his head and hope AJ, goes in there and fail worse than he did. You never unified. You were never undisputed. AJ was unified and was trying to become undisputed, but you wanted to hold that WBC belt hostage. Once Fury took it off your hands, people felt like, okay, we're going to get undisputed. Then Fury started bullshitting around. And at the end of the day, like Eddie Hearn said, yeah, we could have kept him undefeated. Yeah, just let him fight the type of people Wilder fight. Like, really? Yeah, he still be undefeated too. And this is why I say people, they say, oh, you get credit for taking the tough fights. No, not AJ. They still try to shoot him down for taking the tough fights. But then you praise a guy and try to find a way to praise when you have weak opponents, right? Example, I remember everybody shitting on Charles Martin after Anthony Joshua went in there and made him too scared to want to get up and continue to fight in the second round. But it's funny when they announced Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder. Yeah, man. Yeah, Martin got better. How you get better? He came back and lost. All he did was came back and lost a fucking fight. Then I think then he beat Gerald Washington. How? How all of a sudden now he's not a bum? It's like, wow. But he was a bum. So what? He's not a bum because he beat Gerald Washington? But he was a bum before that? Because he lost to AJ? Right. Now, why didn't Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder fight? Here's the deal. For one, you're going to make way more money fighting against Anthony Joshua, especially back then. Two, let's be real. When Luis Ortiz was offered this fight by Hearn, he turned it down and fought Wilder for less money. And it's funny because now all of a sudden Luis Ortiz has the nerve to say he wants the Wilder fight. Not the Wilder fight, the AJ fight. He wants Fury. Okay, listen. Okay, Magilla Gorilla, or is it King, some kind of Kong, whatever. You don't fucking get rewarded a title fight by getting your ass whooped. That doesn't warrant a fucking title fight. I just lost to Andy Ruiz, so it's only right that I fight Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. Let's just see if Deontay Wilder actually fights Andy Ruiz. Should he beat Helenius? He should, but let's see. Robert Helenius comes to fight, yes. He's a rugged type guy, but he's there to be hit as well, and I know they're dependent on that right hand to catch him and knock him out. If Robert Helenius ends up whooping Deontay Wilder's ass, and Deontay Wilder stand there and try to, well, you know, Robert Helenius is a tough guy. He one of the tough guys. People underestimate. No, I don't want to hear that shit. Because basically they're two wild guys that throw wild shots, but Wilder's quicker than he is and more accurate. You know, at least with the 1-2. You know, I ain't talking that windmill wild stuff he throws. But overall, he's fighting Robert Helenius, Mr. I Am Boxing, Mr. One Face, One Name, One Champion. Meanwhile, AJ's fighting Fury. Another tough fight. Now, just think, 2 back-to-back tough fights with the best heavyweight in the division. Now he's in there with the second best heavyweight in the division, and you're in there with Robert Helenius. Yet you try to shoot down his resume. You can fool your minions with that bullshit about AJ ain't fighting nobody. He avoided the toughest fights. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, what is it in the heavyweight division? The guys that ain't shit are the ones that hold the belts. Because correct me if I'm wrong, when you was holding on to that fucking WBC, didn't Anthony Joshua go around and collect every belt one by one? So how in the fuck was his belts given to him? Not to mention, you fucking turned down the fucking $120 million from the zone. You turned that down. So when you say that they're playing games, you want to know if they're just serious. Like I said before, he can never sit in detail. He can never sit in detail anything. That shows how they say one thing and do something else so that they're full of shit. You know, you ask him a question. Deontay tries to either answer your question with a question, or he just starts going on, starts monologuing, he just starts talking. It's like, what? Did you understand my question? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, Deontay. So, being that you've never fought Anthony Joshua, what do you think? How do you think a fight like that will play out? You versus Anthony Joshua in 2022, 2023. You know, how do you think that fight plays out? Well, sometimes, waffles come in a box, but the butter don't. You know what I'm saying? And so, me being from Alabama and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Never can say what they did. Simple. You can never explain what you're really trying to say because you're making up shit to try to look good, and you'll find a way to just. That's why it don't make sense. More 90% of the time when you say something, it's like, what are you talking about? What? If you can do all this talking, here's my thing. For you to talk so much about AJ, why don't you just fucking fight him? You do all this talking, but I have never once, that bullshit, you got 48 hours to sign this contract, no negotiations, take it or leave it. That's bullshit. And you know. That's why when people like, he's a good dude, okay, whatever. The shit he's doing on his camera ain't good shit. And I'm not going to sit here and be a kiss ass for nobody. How do you say somebody's full of shit, but you can't? Look, okay, simple. So, why do you say that AJ and Hearn is full of shit? Okay, because here's the deal. I had my people contact their people. They didn't get back to us. I personally called Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua told me, look, I want to fight, but, we got to do it the right way. And I told him, listen, make sure you stay true to your word. I want this fight. If you want this fight, we're going to make it happen. I'm going to make it known to the public. I want to fight you. And I'm letting you know this before I do it. Why? I'm not talking. I'm not clout chasing. I want to fuck you up. Simple. Let's make it happen. And then he never responded. Now, dare that motherfucker to sit here and say I'm lying. Okay. Simple. Just say, oh man, they got the people fooled, man. You know what I'm saying? They say one thing and do another, man. They don't want this fight, man. You know what I'm saying? They just blowing smoke up people's asses, man. We could have been had that fight. They really want that fight. We could have been had that fight. You still ain't explained what they said or what they did that to support your claim. This is what you always get. So here's the reality. You had, just like, Anthony Joshua had 2 shots at Usyk, you had 3 at Fury. And people like, oh man, but he hoped Fury feed his family, Okay, they both made a paycheck. What the fuck you talking about? It's a fucking fight. They were both cherry picks. What do you mean? He should be grateful. He should be thankful. Motherfucker, you should be thankful that you got your health. That's anybody. Your health is intact. But you both made a paycheck. They make it sound like Fury fought for fucking free. I mean, like Wilder fought for fucking free and gave all his money to fucking Fury. Like, no, what do you mean? We know the deal. Big fat bald head motherfucker was coming out of, 3.5 years, came back and fought 2 meatballs. It was a cherry pick. This motherfucking linky ass motherfucker came box. He got one trick pony. I can beat this guy. He's the easier out of these guys. If let me tell you something. If Fury to say I wanted the toughest challenge in the heavyweight division, so I go with the hottest puncher, all you gotta throw that in there. Because most people will agree with that. He's the hardest puncher. Don't know about that. How do we know he hits harder than FA? How do we know he's hit harder than Anthony Joshua? How do we know, know that he really hits harder than these guys? Look at his competition. See, like you guys said, when I showed you the clips of AJ fighting, like some of you said in the comment section, like I said, well, fuck, I said it. Okay? And you guys said the same shit. Yes, the competition changed. The better you get, the better competition, yeah. Some guys not as easy to hit. Guys get slicker. We get that. Same thing. Look what happened when he finally fought against, Tyson Fury. I mean, let's just be real. This is not about, for me, boxing, no sport, but boxing should not be about, I'm going to call somebody's name, I'm going to say a bunch of derogatory shit, I'm going to try to make the fans feel like they're a bunch of frauds, I'm going to do all this fucking talk I'm going to do all this talk because I know he's not available. What is that? But then ultimately, I'm going to end up not fighting him. And I'm going to stick to that story to make people think it's his fault. But now that I think he's mentally weak and broken, same thing. You see the pattern? Fury says Anthony Joshua is mentally weak. He's fragile in the mind, and he's not cut out for the elite. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, didn't Hearn just say the same thing? This fight just came up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Okay. What was Wilder saying about him? He's mentally weak. He's broken. He's a broken man. Right. I got him right where I want him. That's the mentality. That's the mentality. You think that you see a weakness that you can exploit. That gives you a little more confidence, but you still got to get past Hoenius, which you should, but you still got to get past him. So why bring up a fighter's name and try to talk shit about them? You should say less. Have less to say about somebody that you know you're not going to fight. My whole take on this is real simple. You know, people have their own opinions and they can feel what they want to feel. But I truly believe that Deontay, more than anything, is trying to psych himself to believe that shit about Fury cheating. Simply because he lied on he contradicted, he lied on his own self. He said he had proof, then said he don't have proof. It's hard to, prove when you ain't got no proof. After you said you got proof. After your man stood up there and lied and said that you had proof. Y'all was going to get him out the sport. He's still here. He's still down here. After you sat there and listened to your friend, right? Your compadre sit up here and say, Champ never said that. That was misconstrued. He never said that about the costume, just for that video to resurface. And you never called him out and said, nah, I did say that. Nope, you sat back. Why? Quietly, because you didn't expect that video to resurface. Just like when you tell people that Deontay Wilder got knocked out by Harold Stonian, and the referee literally gave him a second chance in the same fight to continue. You can't find that video. And if it ever resurfaces, I'm going to be the first one to play that shit. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.